In this video, I'm going to talk about factoring trinomials using what's known as the guess and check method. Now, before we get into examples of that, we need to recall how we multiply polynomials. Now, we typically multiply two binomials, so two things that have two terms, using an acronym known as FOIL. The F stands for first, so we take the first term times the first term. Well, x times x gives us x squared. The O stands for outer, so x times 2 would be 2x. The I stands for the inner 2. Well, negative 4 times x is negative 4x, and the L stands for last, so negative 4 times 2 is negative 8. Notice that the middle two terms are like terms. We can put those together. So we get x squared minus 2x minus 8. When I take 2x minus 4x, I get negative 2x. This would be the product of these two binomials. What factoring is factoring is going the opposite way. We're going to be given a trinomial, something with three terms, and we need to factor it into two binomials. Yeah, we're going to do this, like I said, using the guess and check method, and we want to keep this idea of FOIL in the back of our minds. We're sort of going to do the reverse of FOIL. All right, let's look at some examples here. We're actually going to start with number 2. So I'm given x squared plus 6x plus 5, and I want to know what two binomials, when I multiply them together, would give me this trinomial. Well, I can follow my FOIL acronym just backwards. I just ask myself, what can I put in the first positions that when I multiply them, I'll get my first term? Well, x times x gives me x squared. Okay, that's like the F part of FOIL. Then I do the L part of FOIL. What times what can give me the last term? So off to the side, I think about what things multiply to 5. Well, that's going to be 1 times 5. Then I have to plug these numbers in an order so that when I check the O and the I get this middle term. So for example, maybe I plug the 5 there and the 1 here. Okay, 1 times 5 gives me the last term. And then I just need to check the inside and the outside. When I check these, they should combine to give me the middle. So 1 times x is 1x. 5 times x is 5x. When I add those together, do I get 6x? Well, 1x plus 5x is 6x. So this is the correct factoring. All right, let's look at another example. Let's head to number 1. So let's say I had x squared minus 6x minus 16. So once again, I want to factor this into two binomials. I ask myself, what times what gives me x squared? Well, that's x times x. And then I have to think about what numbers multiply to 16, specifically a negative 16, and will combine to give me negative 6 in the middle. Well, 16 could be 1 and 16. It could be 2 times 8. It could be 4 times 4. Now remember, I want a negative 16, so one of these numbers has to be negative. Now, looking at these numbers, I want to use a little bit of an educated guess on which pair is going to get me the best results. Well, if I want a negative 6 in the middle, I can see that 2 and 8 are 6 apart. So I would probably start with this pair. So I'm going to put 8, I'm going to put 2. Now, I want a negative 6, so I'm going to make the bigger number negative. Now, once again, I need to check my answer. So far we've done the guess part, we now need to check it. So we check the inside and we check the outside, and they should combine to give us the middle. Negative 8 times x, well, that's negative 8x. 2 times x is 2x. If I add those together, do I get negative 6x? I do. So it checks out. This is the correct factoring.